So my first thought after seeing this movie was, I gotta use the bathroom, because this movie is a little bit over 2 hours long, and I'm sorry, but horror movies do not need to be that long. That being said though, I did kind of like it, so hold on to your butts. The story picks up right where the previous movie left off. This time around, the curse of the smiling entity finds its way to pop star Skye Riley. In case you haven't seen the first one, here's how it works. The curse slowly drives a person insane, making them see things that aren't real, and within a week, they'll end their lives in a horrific way in front of a witness, who then becomes the next victim of the curse.
911, what's your emergency?
The original came out about 2 years ago, and I thought it was okay. It was a fairly standard horror film with lots of jump scares, but it did have a strong cast and an overall very creepy atmosphere, so I wasn't really expecting a lot from a sequel. But I have to admit that Smile 2 is better, gorier, creepier, and Naomi Scott is really, really good. I still have some issues with this movie, but it's a big improvement over the first one. I kind of see this as a mix between The Ring and A Nightmare on Elm Street, but without the fun of having Freddy Krueger as the villain, of course. I mean, think about it. The Elm Street kids are haunted by visions and slowly losing their sanity until eventually Freddy kills them. If you combine that with the cursed nature of The Ring, you get the Smile movies. And once again, I really like the cinematography. The movie opens with a one-take shot of about 5 minutes, which really isn't a one-take shot. I hope everybody understands how editing works by now. And throughout the entire movie, the camera work kept surprising me. It's very creative. It uses a lot of interesting techniques that enhance the unsettling atmosphere. There's a scene shot on a very wide angle where Naomi Scott is seeing all of her dance partners creeping around her home. It is very unnerving. And there are plenty of moments like that throughout the film. Unfortunately, just like the first movie, it leans heavily on jump scares. And I have to admit, 2 of them were actually earned, but there were just too many of them. After a while, those jump scares felt gratuitous and overused, and I started to get really annoyed by them. I'm old, so I really don't feel like playing peekaboo with a movie. But I don't think I'm the demographic of this movie. Maybe that's why I also wasn't a fan of the soundtrack. Not the score, mind you, because Cristobal Tapia de Veer's score is excellent. It blends 80s horror vibes with eerie sounds like hissing and rattling. It really creates a fantastic atmosphere. No, I'm talking about the diegetic music, the pop songs that Naomi Scott's character sings.
Just pop, 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 pop.
I hated it just as much as the jump scares, but again, middle-aged men like me are not the target audience of this movie. And like I mentioned earlier, I think this film is about 20 minutes too long, because the story isn't all that complicated, so there's no reason for it to be 2 hours and 7 minutes. Something like that. Ringu, the original Ring movie, is about an hour and a half, and It Follows is 1 hour and 40 minutes. I'm an editor myself, and I could easily spot scenes and sequences that could have been cut from the movie to tighten things up. That said though, Naomi Scott really impressed me. Her character's descent into madness is very entertaining to watch. But a fair warning though, there's a lot of snot involved. It's a very snotty movie. It's almost like the director told Naomi Scott, hey, remember that scene from the Blair Witch Project with the snot? Yeah, do that about 6 times. Also, I did not care for the ending. Now, I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but let's just say there's something towards the ending that cheapened the whole experience for me. It really wasn't necessary, and I felt this movie deserved a much better ending. But yeah, I do recommend seeing Smile 2. It's not the most original horror film I've seen in a while, but it does some original things. It has a great cast, an amazing score, and it's very gory and creepy. And if you can look past the jump scares, it's actually a very good sequel to a very okay horror film. So yeah, I liked it. I would love to talk about how ancient cultures used curses to invoke deities, to punish their enemies and express grievances with something or someone. But I'm not going to.